that make your kid feel this small, like you're not worth anything when you come to the school.
This morning, 2 leaders removed from their positions at a Madison elementary school after a district investigation. Plus, you're probably getting a lot of election mail. We'll break down what's trustworthy and how you can spot something that might put your personal information in jeopardy. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning here at 6 a.m. Kyrian Lee is off today. I'm Chris Stanford. Boy, we've got big swing in temperatures headed into the weekend, and meteorologist Kelly Slifka is in this morning for Savannah, breaking it all down for us. Hey.
Yeah, we've got some summer-like temperatures for one more day. In fact, this will probably be the peak that we've had over the last week or so. Feeling like summer today with low 80s expected, but a cold front arrives tonight. More clouds than anything for the weekend, but definitely cooler. A secondary cold front may produce a few showers going into a Sunday, and that will bring us some much cooler weather. Possibly our first frost and maybe even a freeze here in the Madison area so far this season. Typically, we see it in the first week of October. Here we're in the second week, so a little bit later than typical. Current temperatures right now, 57, so a fairly mild start to the morning, at least for this time of the year. We've had a little bit of a southerly wind. We do have clear skies right now, a few more clouds rolling in. These clouds are up to the north, up there in Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. That's out ahead of the cold front. Still expected to slide through the Canadian border, and that'll be reaching us later on this evening through the overnight. Temperatures right now, not bad. 57 in Madison, 55 in Fitchburg, Wanakee at 58, 54 currently in Mazomanie. So enjoy the summer-like warmth today. Southwest winds will pick up at about 10 to 15 miles per hour as we go through the afternoon hours, but temperatures climbing quickly through the 60s in the mid-70s by the noon hour. Big changes for the weekend into early next week. We'll track it for you coming up.
All right, Kelly, talk then. 6:01 now. New this morning, a man is dead after a fatal crash in the town of Burke. It happened last night around 10:46 on US 151. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says that a vehicle struck a pedestrian. Law enforcement closed a portion of the southbound highway between Main and Renner Road where the crash happened. Sunbury police asked people to avoid the area for a while, but the highway is back open. The investigation, though, is ongoing. A man involved in a deadly shooting outside a Madison bar will spend several years in prison. 23-year-old Kayla DiMaggio is being sentenced to 18 years in prison and 15 years of extended supervision. He pleaded guilty to second-degree intentional homicide in the death of 44-year-old Jason Pritchard. The shooting happened in May last year outside the Badger Tavern on Seminole Highway. Witnesses say DiMaggio shot Pritchard after getting upset. The victim did not want to fight. He initially pleaded not guilty, but then changed that plea to avoid a possible life sentence. Southside Elementary's principal and vice principal have been removed from their positions. It comes after an investigation into the pair, sparked by complaints from dozens of parents in the spring. One of those was Andrea Shorter-Moss, 66 parents, who signed her name on an 18-page complaint. She alleges that her daughter regressed academically and that she endured isolation as punishment and humiliation in front of her peers, which led to bullying. All that, she says, stemmed from a neglectful administration.
All 3 years she's been at the school, she went backwards. So now we're working on helping her move forward from that. That make your kid feel this small, like you're not worth anything when you come to the school. And for my daughter, she told me, she said she wished that when I would drop her off at school, I just wish that you would just come back and get me.
Shorter-Moss also says that her daughter had thoughts of self-harm because of the school. In economic news this morning, inflation continued to slow in September, reaching a 3.5-year low. New data says it's similar to the numbers we saw in 2017 and 2018. For 12 months ending in September, the Consumer Price Index was 2.4%. That is less of a cool down than economists expected, but they say it's still headed in the right direction. Meantime, millions of retirees are getting raises in the next year. The Social Security Administration announced a cost of living adjustment that will bump monthly checks starting in January by an average of a little more than $50. 72.5 million Americans receive Social Security benefits now. It's a 2.5% increase that reflects cooling inflation. Now to our 3 for the People coverage this morning. We have a warning about some of the political mailers that could be trying to scam you out of your personal information. This morning, our Michelle Ray Quinn here is looking into it for you. Now, Michelle Renee, I, like a lot of people out there, we're getting multiple mailers just about every single day. What should we be watching out for?
Well, Chris, officials say third-party groups, different political action committees, and parties send a lot of mail to voters with a lot of information. And yeah, it can be overwhelming, especially when they say to follow specific links to request an absentee ballot or tell you to check your voter registration.
Maybe people used to be registered and they've moved, but they're not quite sure if they still live at that address. And so we get a lot of people who are concerned that they've been given a registration form, but they're already registered, and they're concerned whether or not they're still registered. And 99% of the times they are still registered.
The deputy clerk says his office won't send you a registration unless specifically requested. You can no longer register to vote online, but you can register in person at absentee voting locations. Those will be open on October 22nd. You can also register at the clerk's office. And if you're unsure about the information you get in the mail, contact your municipal clerk or check myvote.wi.gov.
Simple solution. All right, Michelle Renee, thanks for the information this morning.
Of course.
So when we wake up on November 6th, the day after the election, we might not know who the next president will be. We will likely know the new makeup of our state legislature. It could be dramatically different than it is now. This is because of that Supreme Court decision this year that redrew the maps. So there's all new legislative districts in our state now. If you want to learn more about this, tune into Battleground Wisconsin, a special live edition of News, special edition of Live at 4 here on News 3 Now, for a breakdown of how these maps could change our legislature. Again, that's today on News 3 Now's Live at 4. The White House says President Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the phone for the first time in about 2 months. It comes as Israel continues strikes in Gaza and Lebanon and its war with Hamas and ongoing conflict with Hezbollah. Israel also weighing how to respond to Iran's recent ballistic missile attack. The UN's peacekeeping mission in Lebanon says 2 peacekeepers are wounded after its headquarters were hit by Israeli fire. Israeli strikes in Beirut also killed 18 people and wounded dozens more Thursday. Meanwhile, there's a hospital in Gaza that says an Israeli strike on a school killed at least 28 people, including a child. 1 person is dead and an investigation is ongoing after an accident in a gold mine in Cripple Creek, Colorado. The mine's not active, but it's a popular tourist spot. An elevator carrying dozens of people malfunctioned while 500 feet underground. Those inside were quickly rescued, but a dozen more people were stuck inside the mine for hours. Authorities did not say how the person died. Meantime, residents in Florida returning to get the first looks at the destruction caused by Hurricane Milton. The storm being blamed for at least 16 deaths. It spawned at least 20 tornadoes throughout the state. More than 2 million customers are still without power. The governor says more than 300 people were rescued, including a 14-year-old boy spotted floating on some debris. Homes are destroyed.
This was home. It's gonna come and just rip away your whole life. You don't think about that. Home is gone. So home ain't home no more. So yeah, I'm very emotional.
While some homes are intact, furniture is completely underwater in some of them. There are also thousands of local, state, and federal responders on the ground in the Sunshine State. Yesterday, President Joe Biden called on Congress to pass a supplemental bill to give more emergency funding for disaster relief. And if you want to donate, victims need that help, and we here in Wisconsin can do our part. So go to our website, channel3000.com. Help us help the Red Cross get some donations to the folks who need it. We want to thank everybody who's donated so far. We've raised thousands of dollars through our website. So if you feel compelled to do so, log on to channel3000.com this morning. Kelly, some of those images from Florida are just heartbreaking.
All that water, you know, we always talk about the winds with hurricanes, but it's really the water, whether it's the storm surge or just the rain, and they saw all that rain up to a foot all across much of central Florida.
Yeah, it's been incredible, though, the rescue efforts, some of the images coming out, the first responders down there doing some incredible work, trying to find people and locate people. They can't find everybody, though. A lot of deaths to talk about. And then as the longer these power outages go on, you're talking about that many customers without power over an extended period of time, it can create for a disaster, even bigger disaster.
A 1-2 punch there in Florida. Yeah. Thankfully, it looks a lot quieter now. And we've got some more quiet weather here as well. A nice day on tap right now. We're starting out at 57. We do have clear skies. Big changes in the forecast, though, going through the weekend. We'll have the first morning forecast coming up.
And we're in the 608 this morning checking out the Deerfield Historical Society. They're celebrating a big milestone and a post-renovation open house. We're going to share how you can be part of it and how this community really backs this place next in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Brought to you by Toyota.
Dear road rivals, no truck on the road drives value like the Tundra. Day after day, mile after mile, it all adds up to big savings under the hood. What's under yours? Toyota Tundra.
Right now, lease a new Tundra for $479 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants, even after they commit crimes in America. Hotel rooms for illegal immigrants while our vets sleep on the street. Sex changes for illegal immigrants out of my pocket. Seriously, have these people lost their mind? Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
Get cozy in Door County with a stay at Open Hearth Lodge. Find relaxation in our King Whirlpool rooms, or enjoy time with your family in one of our dog-friendly suites. At Open Hearth Lodge, stay active with our exercise facility and start your day with a continental breakfast. Enjoy our indoor pool and hot tub and share stories around one of our outdoor fire pits. Open Hearth Lodge, a Door County getaway with all the comforts of home.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
.613 on your Friday. The Deerfield Historical Society celebrating 41 years in a special way this weekend, and you can help them celebrate. Josh Breider is live in Deerfield this morning with how we can get in on this. Hey there, Josh.
Hey, Chris, good morning to you. That's right. They are celebrating 41 years here in the community, and they just had a big renovation. So they're ready to welcome folks back in, and that begins today. Melanie Loftus is the president of the Deerfield Historical Society. Melanie, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Josh, and thank you for coming to see us today.
Yeah, this is such a special place for you because your parents helped found this place.
Yes, they did. My parents, Dorothy and Milo Loftus, as well as their friends and neighbors, Beverly and Norman Dahl, founded the Deerfield Historical Society in 1983.
So 41 years, that's a long time.
41 years, yes it is. And you can see how many years of dedication all of these people have donated to keep it alive and keep the Deerfield community involved. And so we're thrilled. We just unveiled this last night after our meeting. So very happy to have that.
So you guys just renovated. Talk a little bit about the
Yes.
renovations, because this is a really big building with a lot of rich history.
Yes, it is. Renovation started when actually the Historical Society, we were in the upstairs first of all, and then we came downstairs when we had the opportunity because the new Village Hall was built, and they are about a block away. And so then we had the opportunity to come here, and the renovation was huge. We ripped out the flooring, we put in carpet tiles, we took the false ceiling out and saw this beautiful original tin ceiling in this room and the other room. We have different areas here for people to sign in, and we have fundraisers here. The Deerfield books, Deerfield Then and Now, and the history of Deerfield, and our totes that we are selling. And Deerfield was originally very Norwegian, so we have some rose mauling here. And the Deerfield Bank, Bank of Deerfield, as you can see here, you probably didn't see today, but it's being built, new building in the corner here. And you can see as we go here, we're highlighting different community activities and Deerfield Lions Club activities here. There is different Deerfield Independent stories about the bank and different pictures. The fire department also is featured here.
Yeah, and of course with this being the Village Hall back in the day.
Yes, back in the day, it was initially, there was a jail back here. And
that room was the jail?
That room was the jail, yes. And then also there is the fire department, was over in this side. And so it has quite a rich history. And we are just delighted that we had the opportunity to have this as well as the upstairs. So, and Deerfield originally there was Old Deerfield. And Old Deerfield was about 2 miles north of here on the corner of 73 and VB. And that was established basically with the Irish. And then the stagecoach went through at that time. But then later, the railroad was built, and so Deerfield became New Deerfield, and so it was moved here. And this building actually was up the hill northeast of here, and so the story goes is that it was moved down here by horses and a truck and ropes. They turned the Village Hall around, and they brought it down the hill here.
That's so cool.
So, yes.
Well, you guys are going to be hoping open house later today, 11 to 4 o'clock. You're going to be open. We're going to have more coming up here in about a half hour. So, Melanie, thank you so much for the tour. Chris, we have everything you need to know up on channel3000.com. But I think the funnest thing here is this used to be the jail. So I'm just going to lock myself in the jail here in the 608 as I send it back to you.
Throw away the key. All right, Josh Breiter, live in Deerfield this morning. We'll talk to you again in a half an hour. If you have an idea for In the 608 that you'd like to see in the segment, reach out to Josh. He'd love to hear from you. 6:17, checking in with Kelly Slifka down your first word forecast. Hey, Kelly.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. We do have some changes coming our way. We've got one last really warm day today. This will be the peak before that cold front arrives tonight and brings us some cooler weather. But we're starting off 16 degrees warmer this morning. Of course, we did get down to 39 degrees yesterday morning, so it was a bit chilly. But it is a milder start to the day, and we do have a southwest wind that'll pick up. The cold front is still just moving out of Canada. Out ahead of it, there are some clouds you can see in Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin. We will start to see some of those clouds roll on in, but that's not going to really prevent us from heating up. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to see the northern lights. I have not. I've been checking all morning long. I haven't been able to see them, but this came in from last night. Thanks, Bonnie, for sending this in. Just those beautiful colors. This was in Deerfield. All right, 65 expected tomorrow. We are expecting a pretty good cool front that'll be arriving later tonight. So 65 tomorrow. Northeast wind kicks in. Then a stronger cold front arrives Saturday night into Sunday. Down to 59. Those temperatures will fall as that breezy northwest wind kicks in at about 10 to 20 on Sunday. Well, today's going to be a different story. Enjoy at 60s quickly, translating to 70s later this morning. We'll probably peak in the low 80s, so unseasonably mild, not far away from our record, which is 84. But this will be the last summer-like day because we do have some colder air coming in this weekend. Can't rule out a few showers on Sunday. It looks to be fairly light. And then cold enough that we may see our first freeze, our first frost here in Madison early next week. So one of those things you want to Make sure you take care of some of that tender vegetation in all of southern Wisconsin, all of Wisconsin, in fact. Likely to see a frost or freeze Monday night into Tuesday, even Sunday night into Monday. I would probably protect those plants going into next week. Typically, we're not too far off from our average, which is October 8th, coming a little bit later this year. But you can see there in 2016, we didn't get our first frost until November 12th. All right, we're looking at some of these clouds starting to roll on in throughout the afternoon hours. We'll see temperatures in the mid-70s already at the noon hour. Southwest winds will pick up. Low 80s expected today with partly sunny skies. Tonight, that cold front does arrive. The wind switch around the north-northeast. That'll keep our temperatures only in the 60s going into tomorrow afternoon, so quite a bit cooler. We do have that cold front that'll arrive, and that'll bring us some cooler weather into early next week, but it does not look like it'll last. That'll retreat on to the east, and we'll get into some warmer weather. 57 right now in Madison. Still chilly in Janesville, 46, 42 in Lone Rock, 40 in Boscobel, but all of us warming up as that southwest wind picks up. Close to 82 with partly sunny skies. More cloud cover this weekend, and also some cooler weather. Only 59 on Sunday. It's going to be breezy as well. Overnight lows in the upper 20s and low 30s to start next week. 50s expected, but we'll quickly warm back in the 60s, even the 70s toward the later part of next week.
All right, Kelly, temps getting down there. That's the first time we've seen it 20-something on the forecast in a long time. Still ahead, we've got some inspiration for your next tailgate.
The First Warn Weather Team takes you beyond the barometer, only on News 3 Now.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only in the Exhibition Hall at the Allied Energy Center in Madison.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits?
I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Champion's Big Window Sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy two, you get two free. Buy two Champion windows, get two free? I guess that means if you buy four, you get four free. Buy six, get six free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy Two, Get Two free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Rich, indulgent chocolate with a luscious caramel filling. Discover Ghirardelli Caramel Squares in a bag and a bar. Makes life a bite better.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need, because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Spas, spas, spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only in the exhibition hall at the Allied Energy Center in Madison.
We're back. You know, it's football season, and we have some inspiration for you for your next tailgate this morning. Erin Degrave, a registered dietitian with Hy-Vee, is here with a twist on some pizza that you could do for a tailgate. What have you brought in this morning?
Yes,
what can you show us?
Absolutely. So today we're talking about mangoes and how to bring tropical flavors into the tailgate as the temperatures are starting to get cold, right?
I love it. I love it. So what do we have on this pizza? You got a lot of fun, colorful stuff on here.
Yeah, so this is a mango basil barbecue flatbread.
Wow, that sounds delicious. I'm not you know, pineapple on pizza is kind of controversial.
Right.
Mango, though, that sounds kind of fun.
So much fun. And to be honest, mangoes are my favorite fruit. And I'm not just saying that because we're talking about mangoes today. But I want to show you how to cut a mango because
let's do it.
That's something that a lot of people
tough.
don't know how to do.
I have always struggled with this. So what's the secret here?
Right. So right away, you want to make sure your mango is nice and ready. So it's got a little give to it as you're pushing the side of it.
Not too squishy, not too firm.
Exactly. Exactly. So once you have that, you're going to find that top, and we are just going to cut the sides off. All right. So just like that, flip it around, cut those sides off.
Yeah, because the middle is really hard. You don't want that stuff.
Right. Right. There is a big core in there.
Yeah.
So it is a stone fruit. So there's a stone in there. So after you have those slices, now we're going to like score it. And do it safely, not in your hand, and do it on the plate. But score that inside so you get those.
Oh, look at that. Then you can just kind of
like a tic-tac-toe. And you could flip it out. And how beautiful would that be on the side as a display on your board? But then you can even take a spoon and or a knife.
And just scoop it right out there.
Scoop it out. So
and pop it on your pizza. All right.
Right,
so
exactly.
it is mango basil barbecue. Awesome. Erin.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver for every $50 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a 25-cent Fuel Saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Fields Volvo Cars Madison has the Volvo you want in stock and ready to drive home today. So stop by Fields Volvo Cars Madison and take a test drive.
Plus, you'll be part of Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and gourmet coffee service.
And right now is a great time to get an offer like this.
Get 3.99% APR financing for up to 72 months on 2024 and 2025 Volvo XC40, XC60, and XC90 models at Fields Volvo Cars Madison. Go to volvocarsmadison.com.
Fentanyl is one of the most lethal drugs on the market. This much can kill thousands. These deadly drugs are pouring across our border. But Biden, Harris, and Democrats have done nothing to stop it. Tammy Baldwin claims she's trying, but she's failed. She took credit for an anti-fentanyl bill she didn't write and opposed efforts to secure the border. Senator Baldwin and Democrats have done nothing, and our communities are paying the price.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record. Expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
He murdered a father of 3, sentenced to life in prison. Kamala Harris pushed to use tax dollars to pay for his sex change.
I made sure that they changed the policy so that every transgender inmate would have access.
It sounds insane because it is insane. Kamala was the first to help pay for a prisoner's sex change.
The power that I had, I used it in a way that was about pushing for the movement, frankly, and the agenda.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $50 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a 25-cent fuel saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
I was looking forward to going to high school with her. Now I'm in high school by myself.
1 year after the death of Kaisha Miller, how the Harmony Apartments community and police are trying to move forward together. And why people in Evansville may have their water turned off in a few months and what they have to do to keep it on. Good Friday morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford. Kyrian is out this morning. Oh, we're talking about a big swing in temperatures. We're going to go from those warm afternoons like we've been experiencing to some sub-freezing temperatures in a couple of days. Let's check in with meteorologist Kelly Slifka this morning. He's in for Savannah with your first warm forecast. Hey, Kelly.
Yeah, I think you did the math earlier this morning. We were talking about a 53-degree swing in our temperatures from 82 today to below freezing early next week. So quite a change coming our way, and we'll have it all for you coming up. But right now, the sun, or at least some of the daylight coming up on the horizon. We do have clear skies currently. We're sitting at 57, so not too bad this morning. Light southwest wind right now at 3 miles per hour. That'll be picking up a little bit later on today, and that's what's going to boost those temperatures into the lower 80s today. Definitely feeling like summer. We do have a cold front that'll arrive tonight, bringing us cooler weather this weekend, and a secondary cold front could produce some showers on Sunday. And early next week, we're talking about our first frost or freeze across all of southern Wisconsin early next week. Cold front up to our north right now, spreading some clouds into northern parts of the state. Some of those clouds will skirt on through as we go through the afternoon hours. So not as sunny as it's been the last couple of days, but still going to be warm this afternoon, starting out at 57. So we're getting off to a good start this morning. 60 already in Roxbury. So we'll look at partly sunny skies today. Right now we're at 57, but those southwest winds will pick up 10 to 15 miles per hour later this morning, already up to 75 by the noon hour. Talk about the cold front arriving tonight and also that cooler weather and that frost possibility early next week coming up.
All right, Kelly, thank you. New this morning, a man is dead after a car crash in the town of Burke. It happened last night on US 151 southbound around 1045. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says that a vehicle struck a pedestrian. Law enforcement had closed a portion of southbound 151 between Main and Renner. That's where the crash happened. Some Prairie police asked people to avoid the area overnight, but the highway is back open this morning. The Sheriff's Office continues to investigate. We pushed update as the story developed overnight on the Channel 3000 mobile app. If you don't have it, you can download it to get updates on this story and others. Continue our coverage now of incidents at the Harmony apartment. It has been a year now since the death of Kaisha Miller. Last year, 4 people fired shots at the Eastside Apartments, killing the 15-year-old and injuring 3 others. While the family is still grieving, there's a level of trust now between local police and the apartment community. Our Tanasia Shaw reports.
I was looking forward to going to high school with her. Now I'm in high school by myself.
Kalia Smith is continuing her high school career without her big sister. Kaisha Miller died in October during a shooting outside the Harmony Apartments.
Yeah, that was my voice.
You could say she was your protector?
Yeah, I could say that.
Smith was with Miller at the apartments during her sister's last moments.
I remember me feeling scared that day when they started shooting. We all just got to running, and it just came out of nowhere, so it really was just a shocking.
Madison police arrested 4 of the 5 suspects connected to the shooting. They're seen in this photo at the scene. Police Chief Sean Barnes says they're working hard to find the other person involved.
On some DNA analysis, we've gone through a bunch of digital evidence. We've talked to people who wanted to give information, and so we're just going through the investigative process. We think it's important that not only we're able to charge someone, that we can successfully prosecute them.
The chief also told me that a silver lining from the incident is a new relationship with local law enforcement and the community here at the Harmony Apartments.
Because we really believe that that's the way to end violence, to end crime, is you have to create a sense of community. The trust has certainly increased between the police and the people at Harmony, because again, we have officers who were there before this tragic event. They're there during this tragic event, and we're committed to being there after this tragic event. We want to bring justice and some semblance of peace.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
You can find all of our coverage over the past year of the events at Harmony Apartments at channel3000.com. Now to our 3 for the People coverage. We're all getting inundated with political mailers, but some of those could be trying to scam us out of our personal information. Our Michelle Renee Quinn is here this morning to show us what you can trust in your mailbox. Hey, Michelle Renee.
Good morning. That's right. Officials say third-party groups, different political action committees and parties send a lot of mail to voters with a lot of information. And it can be overwhelming, especially when they say to follow specific links to request an absentee ballot or tell you to check your voter registration. Madison Deputy City Clerk Jim Verbick warns people not to send information to third-party entities. Now, this goes for registration forms and places that ask you to request an absentee ballot that are not myvote.wi.gov.
Have hesitation to provide any third-party group with your driver's license number, your date of birth, your last four of your social.
The deputy clerk says his office won't send you a registration unless specifically requested. And if you're unsure about the information you get in the mail, contact your municipal clerk or check myvote.wi.gov.
Really timely and important information this morning. Thank you, Michelle Renee.
Absolutely.
In other 3 for the People coverage this morning, First Lady Jill Biden will be back in Madison on Monday. It's a campaign stop for Vice President Kamala Harris. The First Lady is expected to speak on reproductive rights, democracy, the economy, and other topics. Where or when, though, she'll speak is not yet public. The stop comes days after Minnesota's First Lady, Gwen Walz, made her own stop in Madison. Meanwhile, her husband, Tim Walz, is coming back to Wisconsin Monday as well. He'll campaign in Green Bay and Eau Claire. The campaign says while in Eau Claire, he'll participate in a political event of some kind. The campaign didn't elaborate. This is Governor Walz's 5th visit to Wisconsin since accepting his party's nomination. There's also another surrogate headed to Wisconsin this weekend. Bernie Sanders is going to be in our state. He'll be in Superior and Baraboo. This is also a campaign event for the Harris Falls ticket. The campaign has not released details about when and where yet. Sanders will also campaign in Milwaukee on Monday afternoon. He'll speak at the Power in the Polls headquarters. Meantime, former President Donald Trump continues to campaign in key regions. He'll hold a rally in Aurora, Colorado today. Trump has recently referenced the city in rhetoric about undocumented immigrants. Comes after video surfaced of armed individuals in an apartment complex there. The city, though, has said that the incident was an isolated one. Meanwhile, campaign surrogates are also finishing a tour of North Carolina today for the former president. In more local news this morning, an Evansville neighborhood is speaking up over water concerns. Some of them received a letter saying that the city may soon turn off their water. In April, the city's engineering department encouraged people living there to replace their laterals. Laterals are the pipes connecting drains and toilets to the city's sewer line. In September,
the 90 days is a pretty typical requirement in Wisconsin. It's taken from stock language from the DNR guidance. The 90-day limit is in ordinance. However, given the timing of the year, the city doesn't shut people's water off, even if you're not paying your bill.
Evansville also says property owners do have to foot the bill for the replacements. It's because the pipes are on private property. The city, though, is willing to help with the financing plan. Check your refrigerator for meat from Bruce Pack. The ready-to-eat meat producer is recalling nearly 10 million pounds of beef and chicken products. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says routine testing found Listeria bacteria in the food. Bruce Pack produced them June 19th to last Tuesday. There have been no confirmed reports of illnesses, but it can take up to 10 weeks for symptoms of Listeria infection to manifest. New this morning, autonomous cars are one step closer to being a reality for more people. Elon Musk just revealed Tesla's new self-driving robo-taxi. Take a look at this. The unveiling happening at Warner Brothers Discovery Studios in Burbank. Tesla expects the robo-taxis to cost under $30,000. Musk says the model will not be available until 2026, though. The unveiling comes as Musk is aiming to lean in on more AI and robotics with Tesla. The car brand, though, is struggling to sell its core products of electric vehicles. 6:38 coming up after the break. How construction workers in Milwaukee escaped this situation when a scaffold malfunctioned.
All right, going to feel like summer at least for one more day before a cold front arrives. That'll bring us some clouds and also some much cooler weather for the weekend. We'll have the first morning forecast coming up.
And we're at the Deerfield Historical Society where you can come check it out later today. They're holding a post-renovation open house to the community today and showcasing their 41 years in the community, how you can be part of it next in the 608.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
Need inspiration to start your home update? We've got the wood, carpet, tile, and luxury vinyl during our Beautiful sale, and the interior design staff to help you define your style. Save right now at H&R Carpets and Flooring, Wanakee.
Shop the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. Lease a new Silverado 1500 starting at $355 a month, or a 24 Equinox EV starting at $299 a month. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromMadison.com.
Peter Barca dishonored our service and America's commitment to veterans.
In Congress, Barca voted to cut our benefits, impacting our lives, our families. It's just wrong.
It's just wrong.
Veterans can't trust career politicians like Peter Barca, and neither can you.
Brian Stile will always work to protect veterans like me.
Brian is not a career politician, he's a fighter, and he's always working for us.
I'm Brian Stile, and I approve this message.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
My loves.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you.
How are the girls?
They're amazing, Dad.
As a Capella University nurse practitioner student, you'll learn the advanced skills you need to face the nursing challenges of today and tomorrow. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
My name is Jack Frank. I'm a retired paper mill worker in the valley here, and I work for Copeland Bus part-time on the side. I've had my own route now here for the last 3-4 years, and the kids on it are great. Flexible hours, they work with you in many different ways. If you've got something going, they accommodate you, or they try to get somebody to run your road. Copeland treats you decent. You know, all the years I worked here. It's a great place to work.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Take a look at this. 2 workers safe this morning after being rescued from a suspended scaffold. This is outside the Milwaukee County Courthouse yesterday. The fire department says it happened around 2:45 yesterday afternoon. The workers were on the scaffold when it malfunctioned. That caused one portion to tip here, like you're seeing. First responders got there. Then the workers moved on to the top ledge, the courthouse. They shimmied their way to a secure scaffold and then got back up to the roof. Milwaukee's fire chief said they were ready to go over the edge and rescue the workers with a rope. Nobody got hurt. Could you imagine? Dangling above the courthouse on that scaffold, knowing it malfunctioned. Terrifying. Good work to everybody who responded. All right, 6:43, checking in with Kelly Slifka out on the patio. How's it feeling out there?
You know, not bad for this time of October. Yeah, it's chilly enough. You might need a light jacket or a sweatshirt this morning, but quickly we're right back to shorts and short sleeve weather, and probably even warmer than we've been. Now, we've had clear skies the last several nights. Hopefully we're able to see the northern lights. I've tried this morning, but I did not see these, but we did have several photos come in of some of the northern lights. This was in Madison. This was a couple nights ago. Thanks, Wendy, for sending this in. And actually, these northern lights have been visible all the way far south as Texas. All right, we've got the northern lights. We've got the fall colors. We're starting to peak in northern parts of the state. And I wouldn't doubt over the next week here in southern Wisconsin, we'll be getting near peak. So this is going to change fairly quickly as long as we can hang on to some of these leaves. We do have quite a bit of wind coming our way for the upcoming weekend. That's all due to a cold front. Right now, it's just starting to slide into northern Minnesota out of Canada. That will spread some clouds our way. Not as sunny as it's been over the last several days. We'll see a few more clouds going in the afternoon, but we'll see filtered sunshine throughout the day, and pretty nice day today. But it will be changing this weekend, as we will see that northeast wind tomorrow, keeping our temperatures in the 60s, maybe an isolated shower. A little better chance of some showers on Sunday as that breezy northwest wind kicks in. Temperatures falling from 59 through the 50s throughout the day, so it will be quite a bit cooler throughout the weekend. Not today, though. We're going to quickly jump through the 60s into the 70s, peaking out in the low 80s with a breezy southwest wind picking up. But feeling like summer today, at least for one more day before that cold front arrives tonight. Brings us a few showers, it looks like, mainly on Sunday. And early next week, we haven't had a frost yet in Madison, but it looks like early next week that'll be a pretty good shot. In fact, all of Wisconsin likely to see a frost and freeze early next week. That'll bring an end to our growing season early next week. All right, today we'll see clear skies this morning, but some clouds starting to filter out that sun, but already up to 75 here at the noon hour, topping out in the lower 80s today. And then that cold front arrives this evening. That northerly wind will kick in. Still pretty mild yet this evening with temperatures in the 60s, but we'll back off in the upper 40s to around 50 tomorrow morning. And quite a few clouds around tomorrow with that northeast wind. Maybe an isolated shower. You can see a little bit of green showing up, but not expecting a whole lot. But quite a bit cooler. Right now, 57 in Madison, 46 in Janesville, 42 in Lone Rock, 60 already in the Dells and across Dane County. It's 46 in Waunakee, 51 in Middleton, Verona at 46. 82 today. That's too shy of the record, which is 84. 65 tomorrow, 59 with that chance of showers on Sunday. And look at these overnight lows, upper 20s and low 30s. So you'll need to take care of those plants early next week. We will rebound back in the 70s later in the week.
What a swing. That cold front's going to come in and let us all know that fall is definitely on the way. All right, thank you, Kelly. Want to get to the 608 now? That's because the Deerfield Historical Society is celebrating 41 years in a special way this weekend, and you can get in on the fun. Josh Breiter hanging out in Deerfield. Hey, I love when you take a look back at the histories of these towns in our viewing area, Josh.
Hey, Chris, good morning to you. Yeah, there's some rich history, especially here in the Deerfield community. Like you mentioned, 41 years, and they're actually hosting a post-renovation open house today. So you are invited in from 11 to 4 and see some of that rich history for yourself. Melanie Loftus is the president of the Deerfield Historical Society. Melanie, good morning to you.
Good morning to you all.
So we mentioned that rich history. I mean, some goes back to what, 1888 on this wall.
1888, as you can see, it was a devastating fire that took place, and you can see some of the buildings that were destroyed. They were built of wood, obviously, and then there were some brick buildings that survived. But this was painted by one of our officers at the time, probably about 20 years ago. So that's one of the major parts of history in Deerfield.
So decades and decades of history just in this room, and all these artifacts too that have been donated over the years.
Yes, we certainly have. We're very, very lucky that we have very dedicated and very generous people in Deerfield. And if anyone wants to donate something, please contact us, because that would be appreciated. We're always looking for new things to display. Here we have was Deerfield Ford Garage, Deerfield Motor Sales, and that was just raised a couple of years ago. And a lot of people bought their cars there, very familiar. And then we have
this clock.
This prize. It's actually a clock and advertising.
All in one.
All in one. And you can see these, it actually does work. And these spin around to advertise all the different businesses that were in Deerfield at the time.
So and where was this in town?
Initially, this was in the old post office.
Wow.
And then we were very fortunate to be able to have this and have it so everyone can come in.
Solid piece,
solid.
too.
It is solid. It is into the wall forever. So,
and that's what's so beautiful about this place is now we're in the upper level. Last half hour, folks are on the lower level.
Correct.
I mean, you guys have photos, you have artifacts from decades and decades of time here.
It shows tobacco farming. It shows some of the beautiful Victorian homes in Deerfield. Some of the gowns on both of these displays worn from women. Actually, we used to have an opera house in Deerfield. So some of those go way back. And then, of course, the Norwegian cookbooks from the local churches are displayed here. And then we have over here from a carriage house in one of the grand homes. This was donated and it was rebuilt and so forth. So that's also kind of a working condition. So, and this is the old typewriter from the old depot.
Wow.
Down by the railroad tracks.
So I know you guys don't have a supermarket in town, but this was the signage from the old one.
Yes, this was here, M&A Supermarket. We all shopped there for decades, and we were delighted that they donated this, and we can, people walk in here and they're just, it's like taking a step back in time, and they have all these wonderful memories.
Real quick, and I know you wanted to note the trains over here.
Yes, and these were wonderful dedications, and these are old pictures, obviously, of the train coming through, and just a lot of history here. And fortunately, we have the grandson of the person who is in charge of all of this. So he is giving us a lot of wonderful information.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much for the quick tour. I know there's so much we want to go through, but
There
that's why folks can come in for themselves.
Yes,
check out the open house again later today, 11 to 4 o'clock. So we appreciate your time here this morning. If you'd like to learn more about what's happening here at the Deerfield Historical Society, you can go to the story up on channel3000.com. Chris, it's just fascinating. These towns like Deerfield, so much history and so much pride from a lot of the folks here, and it's great to see support for, you know, historical societies like here in Deerfield.
And so important to understand and learn about where these small towns got their origin from. Josh Breiter, thanks for showing us around this morning. You can give Josh your ideas for In the 608 segments. He'd love to hear from you. A lot of your ideas wind up on the air. Coming up in the morning sprint, the effects of teenage friendship. First, if you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Don't miss the final weeks of A1 Furniture's huge store closing sale. Everything must go by October 30th. Huge selection still available, but it won't last long. Our lowest prices ever. Final weeks on now, only at A1 Furniture's store closing sale.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits?
I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
With high inflation, working families like mine are hurting, and Kamala Harris helped create this mess. Now, while Americans struggle, Kamala spent our tax dollars putting illegal immigrants up in hotel rooms, and she supported spending our tax dollars to give illegals sex changes. It's not just liberal, it's insane. Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Not everyone knows us, but in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana, we are famous in our field. As a Sloan's technician, customer service is our specialty, whether you come to see us or we come to you. We are in the business of supporting your business, and we are highly trained to work on your John Deere equipment. At Sloan's, our loyalty lies with you. We depend on you, and we are proud to serve you. When it comes to service, you can count on us. Remember, think Sloan's first.
The right to vote is the foundation of democracy. For decades, we have been forced to fight voter suppression to increase voter turnout in the black community, while overcoming barriers designed to undermine voter participation. The NAACP of Wisconsin believes your vote matters, and we urge you to double-check your voter information at myvotewisconsin.gov. In-person absentee voting begins Tuesday, October 22nd. Now let's be all in to vote on November 5.
Don't miss the final weeks of A1 Furniture's huge store closing sale. Everything must go by October 30th. Huge selection still available, but it won't last long. Our lowest prices ever. Final weeks on now, only at A1 Furniture's store closing sale.
Free for the people, only on News 3 Now.
6:54, time for the morning sprint. New this morning, a man is dead after a car crash in the town of Burke. It happened last night on Highway 151 on the southbound side. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says a vehicle struck a pedestrian. Law enforcement had closed a portion of that highway. The highway is back open this morning. The Sheriff's Office continues to investigate. Southside Elementary School's principal and vice principal are out. It comes after complaints by parents sparked an investigation. An 18-page letter alleged the top administrators created a, quote, chaotic, unsafe, and untenable environment. The letter also claims they did not respond adequately when a student showed a desire to self-harm. Southside serves about 400 MMSD students. A man involved in a deadly shooting outside of a Madison bar will spend 18 years in prison. 23-year-old Caleb DiMaggio will also serve 15 years of extended supervision. He pleaded guilty to second-degree intentional homicide in the death of 44-year-old Jason Pritchard. The shooting happened May 5th of last year outside of the Badger Tavern on Seminole Highway. Check your refrigerator for meat from Bruce Pack. The ready-to-eat meat producer is recalling nearly 10 million pounds of products. The U.S. Department of Ag says routine testing found listeria bacteria in the food. Bruce Pack, based in Oregon, produced them from June 19th of last year. June 19th this year to last Tuesday. There have been no confirmed reports of illness. Parents of infants, take a look at your screen. Fisher-Price is recalling this swing. It's related to the deaths of 5 infants. It's the Snuggest swing. Fisher-Price says you should never use it for sleep. Also, customers should never be adding bedding materials to it. People should remove both the headrest and body support insert before continuing to use it. Teen friendships can play a big role in your mental health and happiness later in life. That's what a new study found in Frontiers. It shows that teens who felt socially accepted experienced several benefits later. It says they grew up to be adults with less social anxiety and aggression and better relationships and even better physical health.
All right, coming up on 7 o'clock, a beautiful day, feeling like summer as we head into the low 80s, a bit of a southwest wind picking up, but that's what's going to bring us some warm temperatures. A lot cooler this weekend. We can't rule out some showers on Sunday and a possible freeze, it looks like, early next week.